Hi, this is Jack from Maths Forge, and in today's lesson, we're going to be doing angles and parallel lines. So let's take a look at our one-star example. Here, we're being asked to find x. Now, if you have two straight lines that intersect each other like this, and the angles are opposite to each other and facing each other, and they're touching tip to tip, these type of angles are known as vertically opposite. And vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. So we can say that vertically opposite angles are equal. So in this case, if the angle facing x is 53 degrees, then therefore x also has to be 53 degrees. And if we check our answer, there it is. And just a note, make sure to write these down and memorize them, as you do need to know what type of angles you are dealing with. Sometimes in the exams, they can ask you to justify it by naming the type of angle you're dealing with, or asking you to give a reason for why your answer is what it is. We'll do another one-star example. Here they're asking us to find x. Now, if you've done the lesson with angles and lines, you should know now that the total angle sitting on a straight line is 180 degrees. So this entire angle here is 180 degrees. So therefore, if I take my x and add it to the 150 degrees that they've given us, this should give us a total value of 180 degrees. Now, rearranging for the x, we have to subtract 150 from both sides to cancel out this 150, and that looks like this. This leaves us with x is equal to 180 minus 150, which is 30 degrees. And if we check our answer, there it is. Let's do a two-star example. Here they're asking us to find x. So whenever you see two arrows like this, it indicates that these two lines here are parallel to each other, which means that they're traveling in the same direction. Now, angles sitting on the inside of two parallel lines that are connected by a third line are supplementary angles. And supplementary angles are angles that add to give you 180 degrees. So in this case, we have two parallel lines and a line connecting them. Therefore, the angles on the inside are known as supplementary angles, and they add to give you 180 degrees. So we can say that x plus 68 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. And now if we rearrange for this x, we have to get rid of this plus 68, and we do this by subtracting 68 on both sides. This now leaves us with x is equal to 180 minus 68 degrees, which is 112 degrees. And if we check our answer, there it is. We'll do another two-star example. Here they're asking us to find x. We have one angle on the inside here, the top left-hand corner, and then another angle on the top left-hand corner. This is an example of corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are equal to each other. So in this case, we can say that x is equal to 66 degrees. And the reason for this is because these two angles here are corresponding angles. And if we check our answer, there it is. We'll do another two-star example. Here we have our parallel lines and then a third line connecting them. So in this case, the angles, if you actually look at the corners of the angles, are pointing in the opposite direction. If you ever have a case where you have two angles in different locations and their corners here are pointing in opposite directions, then their name is alternate angles. And you can think of this as the angles are facing in an alternative direction. Now, alternate angles are equal to each other. And so therefore we can say that x is equal to 113 degrees. So if we check our answer, there it is. And for our final two-star example, we have another case where if you look at the corners of the angles, they are facing in the opposite direction to each other. And again, this is another case of alternate angles. So therefore we can say x is equal to 44 degrees because these two angles are alternate. And if we check our answer, there it is. Now we'll do a three-star example. So here are our parallel lines, and then we have a third line intersecting both of them. Now, in this case, we can use various angle facts to actually get x, but I'm just going to use one. I can see here that this angle would be corresponding to this angle here. Of course, they sit on parallel lines and their corners are facing in the same direction, so therefore they are corresponding angles, which means that this angle here in blue is 108 degrees. Now that we know that this is 108 degrees, we can use this fact along with the following fact that angles on a straight line add to give you 180 degrees to find x. So we can say that x plus 108 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. And now if we rearrange for x, so we get rid of this plus 108 by subtracting 108 on both sides, we are left with x is equal to 72 degrees. And if we check our answer, there it is. So this is a case of corresponding angles, followed by supplementary angles. Don't forget, supplementary angles are angles that add to give you 180 degrees. We'll do another 3-star example. Here we're being asked to find x. Now I can see here that these two lines are parallel and that we have one angle with its corner facing in one direction and another angle in a separate location with its corner facing in the opposite direction. If you remember what these angles are called, they are known as alternate angles, since they are facing in the opposite direction. And don't forget, alternate angles are equal to each other. So we can just say that x is equal to 69 degrees in this case. And if we check our answer, there it is. And that's it for the lesson on angles in parallel lines.